Hello, my name is Sydney Parks, and I'm an artist living in Houston, going to school at U of H to get my graduate degree for interdisciplinary arts, which means I do combinations of things. I paint, I make video paintings where I merge videos and painting together in one piece. I'm learning programming so I can then make those pieces interactive. And my newest journey is to learn virtual reality and figure out what can be done with it in the realm of fine art. Artists are already working with virtual reality and experimenting with it, so I'm excited to see what I can eventually do with it too. So you're going to see a walkthrough of some of my tilt brush paintings that I've completed. I'm going to show you 4, I think. And then after that, I'll show you a live painting that I did especially for you guys in Waterfront. So thank you, Chelsea, and everybody who pitches in for Waterfront, and welcome as well for those who haven't seen it. Here I've got my sketches that I've done in tilt brush using the Oculus Quest headset. And while I have several, I'm just going to show you my Figures in Space series. I've made 3 so far. I started with this piece right here. And this is just a time lapse of me drawing the piece. And we can just kind of move around it while we watch it be drawn. I call it nondescript because obviously you can't see the features of her fingertips or portrait. And then I was thinking in terms of like art history, a painting by Egon Schiele of a self-portrait that he made where he cut off his limbs. And so I was creating that, and if you know Egon Schiele, you know that what he tends to make are nude figures of mostly prostitutes. And he makes self-portraits, and he would make drawings of his sister as well. And this actually is also, I'll give it away, it's my sister. The second piece I made, after thinking about Egon Schiele and how he would use these prostitutes that he hired, whether he did anything with them, I'm not sure, but like he hired them so he could draw them. I got this idea to just get on, Pornhub and screenshot some nude figures there. So like, I guess I'm thinking of maybe what Egon Schiele would do if he were alive today. This is a time lapse of me creating this piece. And the piece is actually supposed to be, we are the size of a human being right now looking at this piece. So you can imagine how big it would be if you saw it in virtual reality instead of on just a video of this. And this is what's cool about tilt brushes. You can see how big you are. Like this is if I was a squirrel. So the time lapse right now is drawing the background. This is different from the last piece in that the last piece didn't have a background. It was just the figure in space. Now I decided to bring in something to make it a little bit more dimensional. And we'll just skip to the end. Oop, I did a lot to this piece, so it's a little bit glitchy. So this is the reason why I wish I had a tethered PC headset, which is the Oculus, not the Oculus Quest, but the Oculus Rift, or even the HTC Vive would be better, because this is what happens with an untethered headset. If you do too much work to it, it's hard for it to keep all of that data. So you've got another undescript figure, but I'm adding a little bit more features with her toes and then including a background. And if I do it to the size of what it should be, I'll try to go slow so it's not too awkward to watch or like uncomfortable. This is the size that it should be. So just a gigantic figure in space. So I'll go to the next one because this one's kind of difficult to view right now. So for this one, I'm moving a little bit away from the realism, but I do include her face in it. And I wanted to play with different colors, like instead of just these like tans of these girls' bodies, add some blues and yellows. And I'll skip to the end. So this is where you enter into this piece, and I won't manipulate the size or anything. We'll just take it as it is. And here we can move around the space without actually physically moving in real space, in reality. Although, if given a big enough space in reality, you could actually like walk around this piece. So you can look up close and see the brush strokes. And we can go behind it and view it this way. I like to experiment with this dark background too because it completely changes the color of the back side. So what does it mean for like a painting to, instead of, you see the front of it, what if you can always see behind it, or the other side of it, or the dark side of it, the alternate reality of it. And these are little flower petals again. And I was thinking on this one, on the others I was thinking about Egon Schiele, but this one it reminds me of Matisse because of not only the color, but I believe it was Matisse who played with, or was it Gauguin? Anyway, playing with like abstracting the leg and incorporating not just the idea of painting, but also drawing, and how with the drawing portion of it, this contour finger, you can look through it. So I'll just bring this up to her head so we can view her head a little bit closer. Some of the colors. Her toes fizzle into space. And eventually, as I get better with Unity and figuring out how to take these paintings out of tilt brush and make them into an application that viewers could just immediately walk into and view. I'll make it to where if you touch her leg, maybe it wobbles towards you, or you can bend her limbs or move the petals around, or maybe I'll make it to where the petals, because they kind of look like bells, maybe if you touch a petal, you hear a bell sound or something. It'll be interactive eventually. But that's pretty much what I'm working on right now in VR. And I'll just talk about one more painting that I did that is more of like a room, because in VR, what do you use virtual reality for? It's a different space. So I was like, well, instead of just making paintings, maybe I should create a space. So I made this cave. So the idea of this piece came from this really weird experience that I had in the bathroom that I was where I was living before this pandemic, or during the pandemic, but this experience happened like right before the pandemic, and I just had this like spiritual experience, or almost like God had come down and touched me, or touched my hands and my arms and my chest in this bathroom. So here, let me put it to floor level. So you go into this cave that's in this dark realm, and when you walk in, you see this glowing orb and just a weird bathroom with a girl hanging out. And if you walk over to the sink, you can look into it and watch as the colors change, and you can see the water flowing. And then you look up at the mirror and you wonder if maybe it's you, or is it somebody on the other side of the mirror in that reality reaching out to you. And you can come view this tub that the woman is in, toilet that you stick your head in. You can put your hands under the orb and watch it. And so it's supposed to kind of reflect this experience that I had in a bathroom one time. Yeah, so then you can go off into space and watch as you, let's get rid of those blue lines, leave the cave.
The sky The sun goes down.